Yeah, me too. Ready?
Get it all out.
Okay, I'm including that.
Yay!
Hello everybody! Welcome back to the Muppet Vlogs. I've got my dear little roommate Samantha with me today.
I'm back, bitches!
Yeah! And Pikachu. Yes, can't forget the Pikachu. And we just watched... No! Oh, we fell. I'm so sorry. Wait. There we go. There, he's back.
And he's back.
All is
back
good,
again.
Alright, so we just watched the episode number 12, which is called A Tale of Two Piggies, and you right off the bat were like, oh my goodness, this is a very political episode.
No, I did, because as soon as like Sam came in and he turned like super conservative, I know, oh, like,
yes,
things are getting real right now.
Pretty much. So right off the bat, the story is Miss Piggy goes to a Zootopia press event.
I know how meta, we were just talking about how meta this season is, and it's like crazy because it just happened, I think, or it's about to happen because Zootopia is coming out soon. But she was going to it and it was this whole idea and I'm like, I didn't know where it was going. I was like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
I like that. I like the unpredictability of the show now.
Yeah.
Like, it's totally gone off the deep end, but in like the best way, where it's like, I just don't know what to expect anymore.
Because you had like, I sort of kind of knew what was gonna happen because I knew a little bit about this episode, but you had like the biggest gasp when like Miss Piggy was on the red carpet and then her tail popped out of her dress.
Which I told you was funny because I told you, I think when we talked about Muppet universes, that I take each individual universe as its own unless specifically mentioned. And so I took this as its own universe, and like with that I always assume different rules for different universes. So I thought it was funny without any context, as soon as her tail popped out we went versus just like, oh, it's kind of, it sucks but it's not a big deal, like someone go tuck it in, it's like a tag or something, you know, but it was a big like,
it was more like a nip slip kind of deal.
I wouldn't say a nip slip, it was more along the lines of like a see-through top that you are not aware is a see-through top.
Yes.
Because I don't think it's full frontal, I think it's like
for this kind of universe's standards at least. But it still basically was the great setup of the episode, which is that everyone is furious over it and it's very Hollywood, like, oh no, look what that celebrity did. They did a horrible mistake thing and we're gonna make fun of her for it. And exactly. So yeah, so Piggy was embarrassed. What I do like also is that Kermit was not really uncomfortable about it.
He's just like, obviously, I love that line too. He's like, well, you've seen Piggy's tail, right? I'm like, I'll let you figure that one out.
Oh, no, yeah, no, I think Sam was like, have you seen the tail? And Kermit's like, well, I think you know the answer
I think you know
to that.
the answer to that. And I'm like, oh my god.
I was like, wow, that was not subtle at all.
But I love it because it's still Kermit. Like, it's still Kermit, even though like, there's a part of me that thinks Kermit could go either way, where he's just like, he's around everybody who like knows him in that way, and it's just like, dude, come on, like, be real.
Yes.
You know, bro. He's like, bro. Yeah, bro,
come on,
But then at the other side, I still feel like there are times when he would get embarrassed. Like, if Piggy was there in that scene and she was a part of it, I think then he would have been embarrassed.
Maybe.
But because it's just like a friend, it's like, bro, come on, like, be real.
Exactly. Yeah, I completely agree. And I love that he was supportive of her, and yeah, I mean,
that was so cute. We're also saying that, like,
oh, Kermit.
Oh my god, it was so sweet. And it's like, I was like, what could be a third thing? I thought it was gonna be a plan that went horribly wrong.
Yeah.
But it ended up being great, and I was like, yay!
Yeah. So yeah, and as the story goes along, basically we have Piggy who's embarrassed and everybody who's all like, come on, let's not make a big deal out of it. But of course the network, it does make a big deal out of it. So they try to address it on the show with an apology. But then a little pig comes in and she's like, Miss Piggy, you're such a big inspiration to me.
That was like, I want to see more of her. Like, it sounds silly, but like, I feel like there needs to be an arc where Piggy has the little girl as like her protege.
That would be adorable.
And it's just like, she still teaches her good life lessons, but for the most part everyone's like, oh, I don't know if you're like the best influence for her.
I know.
But I would love to see an arc like that. There's so many ways this show could go. And that's the thing, I swear you can make like 3 different episodes for every episode that airs, because it's that like, I don't know, it's great, but that's gotta be great from a writing standpoint.
I agree.
To have that complete freedom.
And you know what, I'm glad they only had the 2 stories, because me personally, I really wanted the whole pool party story to go further too.
That was great.
Yeah, so basically we're kind of all over the place right now, but in this episode also, they decide that...
They did a lot in this episode.
Yeah.
There was a lot that happened.
Yeah.
So.
Gonzo, Pepe and Rizzo decide that Gonzo needs to go move somewhere else because they finally address what I've been waiting for them to address, which is that his girlfriend, Camilla, left him a long time ago, and they want him to move somewhere else because there's too much memories in his old apartment.
It was crazy because that whole arc was going on and I still was lost, because until you mentioned Camilla, I was like, oh yeah, she's a thing that exists.
Yeah, exactly.
again, when I go into a universe, it's just like, I take that universe for what it is, and I assume they weren't together in that universe.
Well, that's what's interesting is, I mean, as a big Muppet fan, like, I know who Camilla is. Like, this is a chicken, as ridiculous as it sounds, that Gonzo's been with forever, and like, all the medias and all the specials and everything like that. But all of a sudden this show started and he was like just dating other people. And I did not mind that at all. I thought it was great. I thought it was a good thing for the character to go in a direction. I just wish they had addressed what had happened to her, but they never did.
But do you think that the original plan of the show was to just not involve Camilla at all? Do you
Probably.
think she's too small of a character that they thought they could incorporate, and then when the reboot happened, that's when they thought maybe we can bring Camilla?
Yeah, I actually, you know what, I do think that, because if they were going to address it, they would have. But they didn't. But that was one of my gripes. I was like, why can't they just address what happened to her? But now they have, and not only that, but spoiler alert, she shows up at the end.
So cute. As soon as we saw her, we're like, ah!
Yeah, we're like, oh no! So yeah, Gonzo and Rizzo and Pepe basically decide to rent a house together, like, to live in, which is
like a Hollywood Hills house too, not even like a lot. And it makes sense for what you would think that they would earn, like in their fictional world universe, what their currency they would earn. It kind of makes sense. Like, I think they could theoretically, I don't think there's gonna be an arc. Why did I just do this? Hold on, no wait, okay. You know, I think that it makes sense from a viewpoint of them. It's like they want to live like rich kids, but they ain't rich kids yet. Yeah. And it's like, you know, it's very, it alludes to like the normal Hollywood life, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's like, I make enough to get by, you make enough to get by, let's ease it off of each other and all this move in together.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I didn't really think of it that way.
I don't want an arc with them where they're struggling to make rent payment, because I just don't see that happening.
I don't really see that happening either. I mean, I can see like the show itself going through that kind of thing, like when Kermit was even talking about dropping sponsors and having to fire people. Like, that makes sense. But when you're talking about one specific individual who clearly is making enough money to live off of, like, that doesn't really make sense.
Right, especially because like Gonzo's a higher up in the show too.
Yeah, he's a writer.
Right.
He's a writer on the show.
So I hope
all of them are.
Oh, sweet. So yeah, I don't imagine that they'll hopefully not dive into that.
I don't think so. But I thought that was cool that they got a house to rent together, and then Ian Ziering apparently lived in it previously, and then they have Ian Ziering at their party, which was a great little cameo.
Great.
I don't remember the exact lines, but they had some really good like 90210/Sharknado lines in there that they made a cry. And by the way, Big Mean Carl's sister was
Carla!
Carla!
It was so cute.
I thought that was great.
It was hilarious because we were like, what? And then we saw her, and as soon as we saw Carla on screen, we were both dying laughing.
I know!
I have to give it away. Basically, it looks just like Mean Carl in a dress.
And a bow.
And a bow. And she talks like a little bit higher than Carl. Like, I think it's supposed to be a parody, but it's so good.
It is. It's
so good, guys.
I remember because they were saying like, oh, Big Mean Carl's sister is a realtor. And we're just like, what? Like, are we gonna see this? And then we do, and we're like, oh my god!
It was great.
That was awesome.
Oh my god. It was either gonna be that or like she was a human or something.
I know. And you know what, the other part that really like got us was when they were trying to choose the carpeting. And Pepe was naked.
God, I did not need to see that. It was so good. I actually averted my eyes because he actually like, Pepe lays naked on this like freaking purple shag carpet, just like that.
Like Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park.
Oh, it was great. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my god, my eyes.
I know. And then they kept focusing on him too, and I was just like,
put some clothes
please
on.
put some clothes on or cut away, please. Like, it was like made us uncomfortable, but in a really funny way.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was like, it's the exact right amount of discomfort, and we were just like, okay, Pepe.
And speaking of Pepe, I can't stop saying it, but that ass though. Pepe was flirting.
I had no idea what she meant until she showed me it, and I was like, oh, I understand now.
Yes. Well, there was one shot where Pepe was flirting with a girl whose ass was like right at the camera, and I was just like,
nice,
whoa, girl.
red lacy ass.
Yes, and I was. You know what's so funny is, at least for me personally, I felt like when they were gonna go through a reboot, I felt like they were gonna like tone down the adultness, but I think that
I love that they did it.
I think they heightened it a little bit, actually.
Yeah, I think, well, we were talking about, I mean, I've seen little bits of episodes of older, you know, Muppet shows.
But you did watch this one and the last one.
Yeah, no, I did. I actually, she's got me started on the reboot. So hopefully I'll keep up with it.
Yes.
But I'm really bad at keeping up with shows, FYI.
I'll make sure she keeps up with it.
She'll be like, you're watching yet? Just yelling across the mouth. And I'm like, no!
But yeah, actually, before we go into anything else, that's a good thing to bring up is so far, what have you noticed changes, quote unquote?
Oh, absolutely. Like we were talking about it, it's just like it's so different now. The adult is different. The pacing is completely different. Everything's different, but like in every single way we wanted to. Like plot lines are carrying over.
That's exactly what I was going for. Plot lines are carrying over. There's a bit more focus on Kermit and Piggy.
Yeah.
Especially since Kermit and Piggy like went on a break.
Sketches.
And they're actually doing sketches now, which is awesome.
Oh my god, it made me so happy.
I know.
Basically everything we said we wanted in the reboot has happened.
Which I should have made an official video about. But basically, yes, everything that we were hoping for and everything that we didn't even know we wanted has kind of showed up in this reboot.
It's been so good. We're like, I'm having a ball.
Good.
I love that it's been so adult now because there's things, and it shocks you, but then like I said, I've seen a couple episodes of like the old show where they get pretty adult there. But it's like, I don't know, I think people for the longest time, and this is my opinion, after, you know, Jim Henson's passing, they wanted to preserve the memory almost of like the childlike, the innocence, the creativity, the happy, the positivity. But I think that they lost, you know, what made them them.
Yeah.
You know?
In some ways, yeah.
In some ways. And it's just like, you know, Kermit used to talk about all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest here.
People don't understand, basically, that the adults did touch on adult subjects. And I feel like a lot of people who, like, are either our age or older, a lot of times they remember the Muppets as they remember them. Like, they remember them being a little more innocent than they really were. And that's kind of been, like,
but I think that's also caused problems, issues with movies and things like that. And I love that they're kind of just like, well, you know what? Let's just try this at least and see if it works. And it seems like they're taking the fans' feedback really well. So.
Yeah, and I feel like in some ways they're also, just like they're reflecting in this episode, in some ways they're saying, for lack of a better word, screw it. Yeah. We're gonna do what we wanna do.
Yeah, right?
You know?
It's been great. It's been, oh, it's so great. Like, I don't want anything to happen to this show. Can it last for like 30 years, please?
I know,
like,
right?
Never,
She's enjoying it so much. I'm so happy.
This is a good introduction, I think. It's been a good introduction. I've been having a lot of great introductions this year to like great franchises.
Oh, good.
So it's basically this girl's fault. I won't ever tell her, but it is.
Aww.
I have to like keep some secrecy.
Yeah.
And the fan ratings just went,
I know, right?
All the guys being
girl action going on here.
Look, I'm not wearing yoga pants.
I know, right?
For the first time in her video, I'm
not wearing yoga pants. I remember you like were like, look at me, I'm not gonna wear yoga pants, I'm wearing a dress. But anyway, so back to the meat of the episode, which was Piggy.
We're ADD a little bit.
It was just a little bit.
Okay, anyway,
go together. So we talked about Gonzo Rizzo, which we love, and we love that Camilla is back, and we're gonna see what happens with that.
Right.
And also, I have to mention that when they were at the party, Piggy and Kermit did have a nice moment together.
Oh, that was so cute.
I thought it was actually hilarious how Kermit was actually giving her attention, but then she's like completely distracted by her phone.
But I think she's so used to not, because him and Denise are still separated, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I think that's the whole thing, and does Piggy know?
I don't think she does.
I don't think Piggy knows that they're separated.
I don't think so either.
That explains a lot, actually.
Yeah.
So it explains why she's not like gobbling up the attention, I think.
I think so.
But I hope she doesn't.
I know.
Prideful Piggy?
Prideful Piggy, yeah.
Just go the other way.
But I still think it was funny that basically she was getting attention from her phone, and we're like, at least in my mind, I was like, no, Piggy! He's giving you attention! Stop it!
I wasn't too mad about it because again, I just figured it out that she doesn't know that they're separated. So I thought it was Piggy actually trying to be in a way respectful towards them by, even though she probably acknowledges the attention that Kermit is giving her, she's like, no, this is a bad idea, let me just go to this. Like,
maybe.
I don't know, I don't know if she's that self-aware, but that's my guess.
Yeah, it's possible. We'll just have to wait and see how they draw it out. Thank you for drawing it out, Disney.
Yes, please, you did a good job. I'm excited for Zootopia.
Yeah.
All the meta is good.
Yeah, all the meta is good with when they went to, and saw Zootopia and what?
Joan Jett.
And yes,
Joan Jett. Oh my god.
She got so excited when Joan Jett came on.
Okay, but no, here's my thing. Here's my one gripe about Joan Jett. First off, she looks fantastic.
Yes, I personally love Joan Jett.
Oh my
god. She's incredible.
She's beautiful. She looks great.
Yeah.
But the other thing I mentioned, I talked to you about it. I wish they would have done a new version of the new song.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing. It's
like adding pigtail in there somewhere.
Well, not even that, but like even having her re-record the vocals for the same song.
Oh, you know,
like more like updated. You know, like some people do a song that's really successful in the 80s, and then they do the 2004 remix where they'll re-record the vocals even over the same instrumentals or updated instrumentals. More. more akin to like a live version.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of upset they didn't do that because I think they would have had the means to do that. And if you already have Joan Jett on your project, like Joan Jett to me seems like a person who just loves making music. Yeah. Like granted, she might be sick of that song right now, but if she wasn't, what was really stopping you besides maybe like a time crunch? Yeah. And that's my only guess. But that's my one gripe about that. But oh my God, Joan Jett, fantastic, great song. Yeah. It was wonderful. It was a great moment.
It was great. And what I love about it was that Piggy decided she was gonna be herself and just kind of, well, she was gonna like try to like change the world slash, you know, just be like, look, I'm not ashamed of who I am. But then they had to kind of go back to, they did have to hide it because of the network, but then they decided to do something to not hide it, which was really adorable because the Muppets came together to support her, which was great.
And she acknowledged their support.
Yes, she did.
She didn't like just be like, well, that's what people should do for me. She actually appreciated it, which was like a big thing.
That was really, really big.
That was really sweet.
I thought that was really adorable. Yeah, so
we're seeking character development.
I know, right? But what's also great, like we talked about, this was a bit of a political statement in this episode, which in some ways is also met up the way the show has been. Where they're like, we don't like that the Muppets are doing this. Maybe, I don't really know how things are behind the scenes, but maybe like behind the scenes, we're like, we don't know if we like this, we need to not do this. And again, in kind of a lack of a better word, it was like, screw it, we're gonna do what we wanna do, and we're gonna be ourselves. And it really does have a bit of a lesson about body image.
Oh, it does.
Especially with the way that Hollywood, you know, kind of handles things.
I like that they embraced all different types of bodies though. Like, I don't know, the whole idea about the curly pigtail, it could be reflective of anything. I mean, it could be about, you know, having a little bit extra weight on you. It could be about the opposite end where, oh, you're too skinny, you need to eat a cheeseburger. And I'm like, that's not cool either. Like,
exactly.
I liked the fact that it kind of touched upon like this general subject that can be applied to anything.
Yeah, and even Kermit was like, you shouldn't be ashamed of what you have, and we all have things that in a way we are ashamed of, you know, if it's a curly tail or whatever, but at the same time, you should love who you are.
But don't expect me to go flashing my boobs around.
Yeah, no.
I like them.
Yeah,
I'll touch them. But
this is only for certain lovely people to see.
Mostly me. Mostly me. Again, fan voice.
We're just roommates. We both have boyfriends.
Just roommates.
Or are we?
Okay, we'll stop, I swear.
Yeah. But anyway, really fantastic.
I was like, that was just it. This episode was so good.
It was. You were commenting how good it was, and it was such a fantastic message, and just
I'm actually at a point in the show where I actively want to see more.
Good.
Which is like a huge step. I mean, everybody who like marathons and knows TV series, it's like it takes that one episode sometimes. Yeah. It's like, okay, I've seen enough good. All right.
But I think that the drawing out and the stories going over to each other, or at least a sign that they're going to continue the stories into other episodes, that's what I think is helping.
Because everything else, gratification is not really good when it comes to like TV episodes, I find. Yeah. When it comes to TV, instant gratification is a bad thing. Yeah, up until like the first 9 episodes of the show, it was all like everything was all resolved by the end of the episode. The Christmas episode kind of started it off with Kermit and Piggy having a moment, and we're just kind of like, oh, what's gonna happen now? And you saw that. And you haven't seen a lot of the other episodes, but you did see that they were very episodic. Yeah. I saw enough to know like they are episodic. There weren't a lot of things being carried over, and it was like, okay, this is good, but I kind of want more, please.
Yeah, but I want something that makes me want more.
Yeah, and now it's making me want more, which for me personally, I'm that audience where it's like, you gotta keep me filled. Yeah. Like, you gotta give me something new every time. I don't like all the time wrapped up in a nice little bow.
Exactly. You know? I agree. So that's good. So we've got 4 episodes left before the end of the season, and we're still crossing our fingers. 16 episodes, yeah. But we're crossing our fingers that there will be, they'll be renewing for a 2nd season. We shall see, and we'll definitely be talking about them in the future.
Disney, you should just do it for us.
Yeah, really
just us two.
So we can just keep making more videos.
Yeah, can we keep making more videos, please, to talk about this? Because we just really enjoy it.
Yeah, we really are enjoying it. I love the new direction they're going with, and I cannot wait to see what else they're going to do.
Yay, me too.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Hope you liked the episode, and if you had any more comments, please be sure to leave them down below, down below, and we'll see you again really soon for the next vlog. We'll see you next week.